Hello, happy full moon. So, there's a lot that we're going to cover in this video. It's not just going to be the full moon, but I do think that it's really good to focus on this, not just because it's going on for basically the next 24 hours or so. I think even by the end of Friday, though, the moon will have moved on into Pisces. But this is a major check-in point for all of us to, excuse me, to see where we are. I think in the big picture of this entire year, even. And if things are going good, cool, how do we make that even better as time goes on? And if things aren't quite so solid, okay, then how do we move forward in some kind of major way? This is the culmination period. Of course, you know, the full moon is always the culmination period of each lunar cycle. The sun and the moon are in relation to the earth, together with the new moon, and 2 weeks later we have the full moon. So the moon is on one side of the earth and then the sun is on the other. This culmination period is all of the more impactful because we've had Saturn involved. So again, that's where the long-term structure is involved. And you know, that's something that we've been talking about regularly, so we won't necessarily go into that too much for today. But we've also had Uranus and Mars in Taurus. So we've had a lot of tension with all of this energy. And ultimately what it comes down to is seeking to break out of a rut and to be able to express ourselves more, to be able to guide our lives more, to be able to focus on the big picture, the big vision of what we seek to experience in our lives, what we want to contribute to society, you know, to bring out the best in ourselves, to be able to help bring out the best in others. There's a lot of pressure here because these are awesome goals. This is an awesome influence, and again, it's going to be different for each one of us of exactly how we're going to apply it and what we're seeking to experience and how we're seeking to grow. But it's a lot of pressure. So if we're feeling stuck with the rut, especially if you feel with this full moon that you've been quite stuck or you're not moving forward, I think really either way, if you're feeling stuck or if you feel like, okay, overall things are pretty good and they're moving forward, either way they come down to the same solution, which is simplify and focus on what you can do right now and in the very near future, next couple days, next couple weeks especially. Focus on your practical, tangible goals. That is the main tension here, and that's also the main solution that's being presented to deal with this tension. That is how we break out of that rut. That's how we burst through the brick wall dead end we've been experiencing, or to go over it, etc. It's just to be practical and to take things one step at a time. Now, Mercury in Virgo is helping with this tremendously, to be able to focus on the details and just get your daily schedule right so that each day you move a little bit further along. Excellent. Being able to learn things to be able to help you to move forward. Excellent. Practical knowledge, experiences. Excellent. Like every energy, though, it has its challenges. And the challenge of Mercury Virgo is, you know, earth energy in general. Every element, air, earth, fire, water, has its wisdom, its genius, and they also have their limitations, hence why we have the other elements. And again, as human beings, we're all four of these elements, and we're conscious, you know, we're soul, we're another element on top of that, right? So it's really important to not give in to the idea of, oh, I'm an earth sign, so I must only be like this. No. Like, we're all born in the same solar system, we have all the energies, it's all good. But yeah, that Mercury in Virgo, earth energy can sometimes struggle to see the future. It can sometimes struggle to imagine possibilities. And to be fair, you know, that's okay. That's perfectly okay. It's important, like I was saying before, to simplify and to make our solutions right here, right now, to work on it right here, right now. The future will kind of work itself out. But not being able to be so in touch with this will lead to this, will lead to this, will lead to this, can sometimes bog us down. And I think especially when we have an Earth Mercury energy, we can sometimes give in to defeatism of like, oh, but why even bother, because it's just not possible, or these thoughts, that kind of negativity, that does not serve us well, especially in a time like this where there's so much tension. And indeed, that tension, feeling defeated by that tension, can lead to that. So long story short, for all of this, it really comes down to the same thing, is just make it simple, focus on your practical goal that is helping you to move forward, that you feel good about, that is helping you to achieve the future that you are seeking to manifest. And just have faith with that. Just trust that, cool, I who knows? Nobody knows for sure what is possible, what the next step will be. But I know that with this step right here, I'm doing this, I feel good about it. This makes sense for me. It's a positive thing. It's taking me in the right direction. And I'm just going to do my best for the next several weeks, and really for the next month and a half, as the sun also moves into Virgo in about just under 2 weeks time. If we do that, cool. Whatever our rut has been, we'll break ourselves out of it bit by bit. And indeed, we can actually make incredible progress. While we're focused on the incremental, the bit by bit, the present moment, we're actually able to make incredible progress, as we've been talking about with Mars and Uranus being conjunct in Taurus, because that energy is all about taking, it's very like steady, but then it kind of like leaps forward tremendously. So the key again is to follow what we feel. And I think part of what this is, part of all the more so, is because Venus just went into Leo today. And this is adding a lot of creativity. This is adding a lot of fun. This is adding a lot of bringing out our inner child and enjoying our lives more than ever. So even as we're serious about our goals and like, yes, I need to do this, I need to do that, let's have fun with it. Let's be playful. Let's treat everything like it's a party in a sense, or playtime. I like that better. That's more accurate for Leo energy. Playtime and interacting with others. Smile, laugh, don't be too serious, don't be too focused on your goals, while still making sure that you do give the time and energy to move forward with your goals. I think one other thing with this is, Jupiter and Saturn are both retrograde, and that does not mean that building and growth and progress is not possible. It is always possible to be building and growing, but with them being retrograde, it's more internal. So with Jupiter being retrograde in particular, that's about growth, it's about progress in the sense of opportunities and prosperity and whatnot. That growth is more so coming from within. We're more developing what's going on within rather than experiencing the public professional success. Now again, professional success can happen during any time of the year, but this is more so the process. So embrace that by going inwards, growing, reading books, watching films, whatever it is, taking it in, and also not even just about external stimuli, but processing your internal stimuli and understanding yourself to a further degree, understanding your lessons, I think really whatever it is that you need to understand in order for you to grow. That's the big focus there. And for Saturn too, Saturn retrograde it's not quite as internal, but I think what it is it's the internal understanding of trials that we're going through, the lessons of, okay, I experienced this in the external world, this is what I can gain from it, this is how I can grow. It's really easy when Saturn is retrograde to just get down on ourselves, but ultimately that's not serving us. We need to be focused on, okay, what do I learn from this, and how do I grow? How do I move forward? And building plans, I think especially with Saturn being in Aquarius, building our plans and our visions in our head to then be able to manifest that in the physical realm. And again, even where we are right now, Mars and Mercury are all about manifesting in the physical realm. So that's really good to keep in mind too. Jupiter and Saturn, where they are right now, are focused on big picture, huge events. Oh my goodness, such an amazing future, right? Keep that in mind. Saturn in Aquarius has been inspiring all of us for how we're going to grow over the next 3 decades, 30 years. And Jupiter in Aries wants to get it all done right here, right now, especially with all this other fire energy. And all of that is great, but we need to put it in perspective and understand that, okay, we can't live 30 years of experiences or progress in a couple months or a year or even 29 years, right? Let's keep things in perspective there, and let's keep things patient and practical. Again, it all kind of boils down to the same thing. No matter what we're feeling, no matter what we're thinking, let's focus on the practical realm. Let's simplify. And overthinking, one last thing. Overthinking is a big challenge with Mercury Virgo. I've had to catch myself routinely with this. And I think there's a couple of different solutions. Is one, just the awareness, as always. That's what astrology is so good with. It just brings awareness to these things. And when we're able to verbalize it, or even verbalize it in our minds, we're able to understand, oh, this is what's going on. Oh, okay, I don't need to do that. Or maybe this is a better way to handle it. Okay, cool. So just knowing that, like, oh, I'm overthinking things. All right, silly, right? That's really helpful. Also, there's 2 other elements, which is making sure that our physical health and then our mental health are well taken care of as well. And Mercury Virgo thrives at doing that because, again, it's very routine, it's very focused. Our thoughts are oriented towards how do we build incrementally. So physically, just making sure we're exercising responsibly. As always, we don't want to injure ourselves, but make sure you're exercising enough so that your mind kind of shuts up. That is really helpful. It's really great. And going for walks, these kind of things. That even more so than like lifting weights. Although it's always a good time for lifting weights, but I think even more so, going for a nice walk, run, etc. But walk especially to enjoy nature around you. That's a big benefit for Mercury Virgo, and that helps with the physical well-being, which helps with the overthinking. And then the mental overthinking, of course, as always, meditation, yoga, anything that unites the mind and body. But I think especially things like yoga and direct meditation during this kind of time period is key to make sure that we're not overthinking these things, and to make sure that we're making the most of these energies. As always, I'm doing readings, info in the description to book a reading with me. I love doing readings. I've done them for over a decade. I have like 135 5-star reviews on my Facebook page. I'm very, very grateful and blessed to have read for so many awesome people. And yeah, I love it. Infinite love to you, my friends. May you enjoy this full moon. Whether the pressure has been building, like in a good sense, you've been building with it, or if it's been difficult, either way, just focus on what you need to do. Move forward. Don't distract yourself. Just get to it. Life will get better. Infinite love to you, my friends. Namaste.